Oh, oh. Hey, hey, Wayne, oh no. Oh, 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 oh. Da 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 da. Yeah. Personal truth rises in quiet hours. Room lit by single hanging ball. Reflection moves across blank walls. Bread steadies beneath them ceilings. Emotional honesty reshapes inner. If old defenses lower without struggle, words form with clearer intention. Voice carries grounded confidence. Emotional low visits without warning. Night stretches across silent apartment. Shadows shift along wooden floor. Stillness feels heavy but honest. Feeling lightness follows honest release. Windows open to cooler air. Curtains drift in subtle motion. Chest expands without resistance. Feeling warmth spreads through memory. Morning sun touches worn desk. Coffee steam curls in soft arcs. Thoughts align with gentle rhythm. Feeling honesty strengthens fragile resolve. Eyes meet reflection without flinch. Past mistakes lose harsh edge. Acceptance replaces hidden shame. Feeling truth stands without decoration. No performance hides inner voice. Silence supports clear intention. Ground feels solid beneath feet. City culture hums beyond window glass. Sirens weave through distant blocks. Footsteps echo alongside streets. Neon signs flicker over pavement. Street culture shapes daily expression. Graffiti colors crack brick walls. Corner stores glow under sodium light. Sidewalk poets share a ribbon line. Music culture pulses through headphones. Bass lines vibrate beneath steady stride. Drums echo against subway tiles. Lyrics trace, honest confession. Cultural rhythm guides collective heartbeat. Voices sync across busy intersections. Movement follows inherited cadence. Energy flows through public space. Cultural tone settles in the night air. Personal truth aligns with wider world. Emotional honesty holds final note. Light fades but clarity remains. Hey, don't let it no, no, no.
Porch rail splinting beneath resting hands. Sunset painting shadows across worn boards. Air warm with lingering day heat. Wind carrying faint floral scents from garden. Front yard stretching into quiet distance. Grass bending under evening breeze. Dandelions swaying with subtle rhythm. Fence lines marking spaces between stories. Backyard fence leaning with gentle sway. Paint fading, done drilling, listen. Insects singing across late summer air. Leaves brushing softly against wooden posts. Garden gate standing in narrow entrance. Hinges creaking under faint movement. Steps pause before opening the latch. Metal glinting under last sunlight. Oil spill glistening along driveway. Corner black sheen reflecting even light. Tire marks intersecting scattered dirt. Hands brushing against smooth stone edges. Porch rail humming beneath shifting weight. Board creaking under slow movements. Faded varnish catching soft streaks. Even stretching long into quietness. Front yard dotted with shadows of trees. Leaves rustling in subtle patterns. Grass slick with dew in places. Small insects wandering soft like. Backyard fence casting lines across patio. Sunlight dissolving in the warm orange. Wind pushing gentle scents through air. Open sky fading behind roof line. Garden gate waiting in patient silence. Latch clicking faintly as old movements. Steps moving cautiously over wooden planks. Air filled with late summer warmth. Oil spill drying in quiet sunlight. light air, softened by dust and leaves. Car parked beside, fading tire groove, day shrinking into evening calm. Porch rail reflecting last golden rays, hands resting after long movement. Shadows elongating across planks and rail, leaving air folding in the coolness. Front yard, silent beneath low light. Backyard fence, holding stories a day. Garden gate, closed with gentle pull. Night settling softly on tired homes.
Bus lane painted bright against wet asphalt. Headlights streaking through early evening rain. Engines murmuring in patient intervals. City breathing through exhaust and steam. Route change flashing across digital signage. Commuters cars in misstep and confusion. Phones glowing and lifted palms. Murmur questions dissolving in the traffic noise. Transit map unfolding beneath trembling fingers. Color lines crossing unfamiliar intersections. Small printed names blurring together. Decisions weighing heavier than expected. Platform light humming with electric fatigue. Concrete shining under sodium haze. Wind slipping between steel pillars. Loose paper skidding near the edge. Train ticket crease from earlier handling. Departure time stamped in, fading ink. Thumb pressing along perforated edge. Pocket holding it like quiet proof. Bus lane narrowing beneath construction cones. Orange reflections shimmering in puddles. Brakes exhaling sharp metallic sides. Passengers swaying with subtle wind. Route change announced through static speakers. Voices blending with restless footsteps. Shoulders shifting beneath damp jackets. Night settling deeper in the streets, yeah. Transit map refolded with her emotion. Lines memorizing anxious silence. Street names whispered under breath. Rain tapping lightly against sheltered glass. Platform light flickering without warning. Shadows stretch along behind columns. Distant horn cutting across air. Rest steady despite uncertainty. Train ticket worn by nervous grip. Edges soft from repeated folding. Hope riding between printed numbers. Patience measured in passing minutes. Bus lane clearing as traffic thins. Route change accepted without protest. Transit map tucked beneath cold lining. Footsteps aligning with new direction. Platform light, steady and final glow. Train ticket, got an next movement. City adjusting without apology. Journey continuing through altered lines. Service window glowing under faded neon, saying that your concrete still warm from earlier sun. Cars glide past without slowing down. Street corners breathing violet dusk. Yeah. Lay special written crooked on cardboard. Black marker bleeding through thin paper. A small crowd forming patient semicircles. Low conversations floating into traffic noise. Steam rise drifting in the humid midnight air. Metal trays clattering behind half walls. Oil popping in irregular rhythms. Paper boats stacked beside plastic forks. Counterbell waiting near chip counter ends. Loose coins scattered in shallow dish. A tired knot replacing full sentences. Headlights sweeping across brick facades. Kitchen towel hanging from apron string. Grease stains mapping years of repetition. Hands moving with unspoken timing. Orders memorized without written notes. Service window sliding halfway open. Warm light spilling onto cracked pavement. Footsteps shuffling closer in sequence. A breeze carrying distant siren echoes. Late spectrum nearly sold out tonight. Voices soft but steady with hunger. Bills exchanged without hesitation. Receipt paper curling from heat. Steam rise clouding reflective glass surfaces. Condensation tracing uneven window lines. Plastic trays bending underweight. Traffic lights blinking in different cycles. Counterbell tap with careful knuckles. Sound ringing sharper than expected. Shoulders shifting beneath worn jackets. Engines idling along the curb. Kitchen towel wiping down stainless steel. Grease fading into dull gray streaks. Apron untied with quiet fatigue. Generated humming its final notes. Service window closing with muted slide. Late special erased by tired thumbs. Steam rise thinning into night. Coins counted under portable lantern. Counterbell resting in absolute stillness. Kitchen towel folded with deliberate care. Street empty beneath soft street light glow. Midnight folding gently into silence.
Basement pipe rattling under heavy water flow. Concrete walls humming with quiet energy. Shadows stretching across low ceilings. Air damp and faintly metallic. Water heater sighing in slow rhythm. Temperature rising beneath doorknobs. Steam curling into narrow corners. Pipe joints whispering in muted cadence. Fuse panel glowing under pale fluorescent. Switches lined in rigid symmetry. Electric hum weaving through the space. Yeah, fingers hovering before decision. Yeah, wrench turn gripping stubborn metal bolt. Hands steady despite slipping gloves. Edges groaning under careful torque. Metal echoing in shadow chamber. Toolbox sitting beneath dusty shelf. Hinges creaking as lid opens slowly. Contents arranged in quiet order. Screwdrivers lying beside pliers. Basement pipe vibrating beneath sudden pressure. Water pulsing through hidden veins. Concrete floor cool beneath boots. Air thick with earthy scent. Yeah, water heater humming a low tune. Steam rising in spiral patterns. Shadow corners catching reflected light. Yeah, faint noise from street above. Fuse panel checked for steady current. Lights flicker but continue without protest. Electrical scent mixing with dust. Metal edges glowing under lamp. Wrench turn echoing against old bolts. Tension meeting resistance and metal threads. Hands tired but precise. Yeah, silent rhythm guiding small repairs. Toolbox closing with soft metallic click. Contents rattling gently inside. Floorboards vibrating beneath steady work. Basement breathing with quiet pulse. Yeah. Basement pipe quieting after measure flow. Water heater settling and even hum. Fingers wiped on worn rag. Yeah, metal scent lingering in air. Fuse panel lights dimming in the shadow. Wrench placed beside neatly closed toolbox. Space settling into a flippers calm. Night rapping quiet industrial rhythm. Yeah.
Sun stripes stretching across hardwood floorboards. Dust drifting inside golden afternoon light. Window cracked open to distant traffic. Room breathing slow and unbothered. Blind shadows striping the opposite wall. Parallel lines cutting across picture frames. Quiet on from unseen appliances. Air carrying faint city warmth. Hallway mirror catching partial reflections. Half a figure moving past slowly. Light bending along the glass edge. Footsteps softened by warm carpet. Coat rack leaning near the doorway. Fabric sleeves hanging without urgency. Pockets heavy with forgotten receipts. A faint scent of outside air. Key hook mounted beside chip paint. Metal glinting beneath narrow beam. Keys resting in patient silence. No rush pulling them away. Sun stripe widening as hours pass. Floor patterns shifting with quiet time. Dust particles floating without direction. Stillness layer like soft percussion. Blind shadow fading as clouds gather. Light thinning in the muted tones. Room cooling in subtle increments. Clock ticking with low insistence. Hallway mirror reflecting empty doorway. Shapes reduced to abstract outlines. Silence filling unoccupied corners. Breath steady in solitary calm. Cold rack standing like quiet witness. Shoulders of jacket slightly slumped. Fabric absorbing fading daylight. Threads holding small histories. Key hook now barely catching light. Metal door by soft evening blue. Outside noise dimming in the distance. Windows holding pale reflections. Sun stripe finally slipping from floor. Blind shadow dissolving into gray. Hallway mirror losing definition. Room setting into cooler hues. Coat rack motionless and deepening dusk. Key hook silent against empty wall. Air turning heavier with night. Stillness completing its slow walk.
Stovetop glow warms the tile kitchen. Shadows lean across refrigerator door. Clock hums in steady repetition. Window reflects dim apartment lights. Solvent light shines through small glass panel. Heat gathers behind closed metal door. Counter clutter waits in silence. Distant traffic murmurs below. Timer ring cuts through heavy stillness. Sound bounces off narrow hallway. Bare feet move across cool flooring. Breath steadies in quiet anticipation. Midnight snack waits on ceramic plates. Steam fades into pale ceiling. Salt shaker rests beside folded napkin. Chair legs scrape softly backward. Quiet bite breaks surrounding silence. Crunch echoes in modest room. Water runs briefly at sink. Cabinet closes with muted thud. Stovetop glow dims too soft. A hue oven light flickers before shutting. Timer ring memory lingers faintly. Apartment air cools gradually. Midnight snacks shared with no witness. Quiet bite taken without hurry. Street light glow filters through blinds. Refrigerator hum marks steady time. Oven light reflection fades from glass. Stovetop glow leaves warm imprint. Chair returns beneath wooden table. Plate rest nearly empty. Timer ring no longer urgent. Clock resumes its steady authority. Water glass sweats onto coaster. Breeze slows into softer rhythm. Midnight snack becomes simple memory. Quiet bite dissolves into aftertaste. Window shows dark rooftop lines. City sleeps without noticing. Stovetop glow finally disappears. Oven light remains only memory. Kitchen settles into muted dark. Floor cool beneath tired feet. Timer ring replaced by silence. Midnight snack fully finished. Quiet bite echoes in thought. Night folds gently around the room.
Cork twist turning slowly beneath careful hands. Bottleneck yielding to patient pressure. Evening sunlight spilling across polished countertop. Air warm with hints of summer breeze. Cork pop resonating through quiet kitchen space. Fingers holding glass steady in hand. Red wine catching faint golden glint. Shadows bending along smooth table edge. Wine glass reflecting room in miniature arcs. Liquid swaying with subtle motion. Crystal rim catching faint sunlight. Light brushing edge with gentle warmth. Table edge holding scattered plates and bottles. Wood grain polished from years of use. Hands tracing marks left from previous meals. Air scented with faint perfume of wine. Cork twist repeated in careful rehearsal. Bottle seated in palm like memory. Fingers brushing textured cork edges. Soft anticipation in small motion. Cork pop, spilling through afternoon calm. Room quiet except faint hum of fridge. Shadow stretching across warm tile floors. Light filtering through partially closed blinds. Wine glass swaying with gentle tilt. Crystal rim kissed by fading sun. Drops shimmering along polished surface. Air carrying hints of grape and wood. Table edge catching scattered light patterns. Hands resting after pouring carefully. Soft conversation drifting in quiet hum. Room filled with fit-lit mellow presence. Cork twist turning slowly once more. Bottleneck yielding to practice hands. Cork pop fading in a warm echo. Liquid gliding smoothly in a waiting glass. Wine glass held against deep sunlight. Crystal rim shining softly in reflection. Table edge lined with small details. Afternoon air vibrating with gentle calm. Cork twist pressed into memory. Cork pop a small musical punctuation. Glass reflecting soft evening colors. Room breathing quietly around objects. Wine glass resting beside polished table edge. Crystal rim holding glint of fading sun. Cork pop now memory. Sound dissolved. Evening settling soft and then a fade to silence. Setting through a fade to silence.
Payday envelope resting heavy in my coat pocket. Street lights flicker over cracked concrete pavement. Cold air settles deep in the quiet lungs. City noise hums in distant layers. Folded wages pressed tight between careful fingers. Bills crease from hours of steady labor. Bus brakes hiss along the avenue curb. Footsteps echo past shuttered storefront glass. Corner hustle breathing under faded neon. Milk crates stacked beside a narrow alley. Low voices trading quick-coded phrases. Engines idle with muted impatience. Side hustle moving through backstreet rhythm. Cardboard tables balanced on uneven asphalt. Coins slide quietly across worn surface. I scan shadows without sudden motion. Night vendor station beneath buzzing bulb light. Metal cart gleams with stubborn resilience. Steam from somewhere drifts across shoulders. Hands move practiced and deliberate. Payday envelope opens with measured caution. Folded wages counted under sodium glow. Breath steady, shoulder square in silence. No celebration, just quiet arithmetic. Corner hustle keeps a subtle tempo. Side hustle whispers between passing cars. Night vendor nods without extra words. Business handled in calm exchanges. Photo wages thinning with small decisions. Payday envelope losing its earlier weight. Street wind carrying fragments of conversation. Neon reflection trembling in puddles. Corner hustle dissolves till midnight edges. Side hustle packs into dark duffel bags. Night vendor wipes down metal surfaces. Distant siren bends around high rises. Payday envelope folded back into denim. Remaining bills aligned with careful precision. Footsteps measured along painted crosswalk lines. Traffic lights cycle through empty intersections. Folded wages now quiet against heartbeat. Corner hustle reduced to scattered crates. Side hustle fading in the back block shadows. Night vendor rolling wheels towards storage. Payday envelope light, but still present. Folded wages earned without spectacle. Corner hustle sleeps beneath brick archway. Side hustle waits for another night.
Depot bench cold beneath tired shoulders. Concrete platform holding leftover heat. Distant engines idling in low tones. Evening settling across steel track. Transfer slip folded along worn edges. Ink smearing from a restless fingers. Schedule printed in narrow columns. Time moving without permission. Conductor call echoing under metal canopy. Voice distorted by overhead speakers. Passengers adjusting bags and jackets. Shoes scraping across painted lines. Rail switch clanking in mechanical rhythm. Steel grinding beneath hidden pressure. Sparks flickering in brief flashes. Tracks aligning with heavy precision. Freight whistle stretching across open distance. Long note bending into twilight sky. Air vibrating with industrial sorrow. Pigeons scattering from rafters. Depot bench collecting quiet stories. Graffiti carved along its surface. Backpacks resting beside worn boots. Street lights flickering awake above. Transfer slip check beneath platform light. Eyes scanning small printed numbers. Breath rising in cooler even air. Wind pushing along loose newspapers. Conductor calls softer on second pass. Doors sliding open with muted force. Footsteps compressing gravel edges. Engines humming in patient sight. Rail switch shifting unseen direction. Metal sighing underweight. Cars coupling with heavy impact. Shadows stretching along track line. Freight whistle returning from far distance. Sound bouncing off a warehouse wall. Sky fading from amber to indigo. Clouds drifting above signal towers. Depot bench nearly empty now. Transfer slip tucked in the pocket. Conductor call swallowed by motion. Lights trailing behind departing cars. Rail switch resting in final alignment. Freight whistle dissolving in the night. Platform cooling under dim lamps. reclaiming the open rail. Oh.
Driveway crack, running light whisper stories. Grass pushing through stubborn edges. Morning sun casting thin diagonal shadows. Air still under early city haze. Tire groove etched in the worn asphalt. Car wheels pressing uneven path. Rubber marks holding history of motion. Echoing past trips across quiet streets. Oil spill glistening with subtle reflection. Dark sheen spreading under dim sunlight. Fingers brushing soft, sticky edges and lingering faintly in warm air. Faded paint flaking from low wooden fence. Layers curling into muted patterns. Weathered hands tracing chipped textures. Memories folded with peeling surfaces. Peeling paint falling on the dry concrete. Tiny fragments crunch beneath warm boots. Air carrying scented wood and dust. Time stretching across silent yards. Driveway crack widening with each season. Shadows bending across uneven plains. Footsteps moving slow and deliberate. Morning light catching small details. Tire groove leading toward open street. Edges softened by dust and rain. Car passing, leaving faint vibration. Air carrying distant city hum. Oil spill drying under afternoon heat. Gloves fading in the doormat. Neighbors walking past without noticing. Sunlight refracting soft amber tones. Faded paint holding stories of years. Wood fiber stretching under sun and rain. Brush strokes hidden beneath dust layers. Hands recalling long forgotten repairs. Peeling paint resting on cracked concrete. Edges curling in gentle spirals. Morning wind carrying scattered fragments. Sunlight glinting on broken edges. Driveway crack, reflect a slow movement. Tire groove show a repeated passage. Oil spill lingering as quiet reminder. Faded paint fading without apology. Peeling paint dissolving in the late day. Driveway crack settling in the evening. Tire groove softened by fading sun. Oil spill resting in quiet stillness.
Thermostat dial turns slowly in hand. Numbers glinting under dim lamp glow. Room adjusting to gentle heat pulses. Air shifting softly on quiet objects. Meter click echoing across empty room. Faint hum vibrating beneath polished floor. Shadows moving with subtle light. Light stretching across worn carpet fibers. Cooling vent humming faint in corner space. Air currents brushing against walls. Temperature balancing between warm and cool. Soft whispering rhythms filling still room. Draft line creeping along window edges. Curtains bending slightly with invisible wind. Evening settling in measured patient pace. Air carrying faint scent of night outside. Open crack, letting gentle breeze in her hands folded across warm cozy lap. Shadows from lamp and across quiet walls. Time stretching slow in the midnight calm. Thermostat dial glowing under soft finger touch. Numbers reflecting in nearby polished glass. Heater click responding with low hum. Air thick with warmth and memory. Cooling vents shift the currents around. Room faint drafts brushing bare arms. Soft vibrations through low furniture. Room alive with unspoken rhythm. Draft line tracing delicate patterns along floor. Light from windows stretching in the dark corners. Air moving quietly through narrow gaps. Evening measured in subtle whispers. Open crack allowing faints in a cold night. Pressing gently against interior walls. Heater click echoing faint in the distance. Thermostat dial adjusting for final comfort. Cooling fan breathing steady across room. Soft hum filling empty spaces. Draft line dancing along baseboards. Air folding quietly into calm. Crack, closed after measured pause. Evening deepening beneath muted lights. Heater click, final echo before stillness. Thermostat dial resting at perfect warmth. Draft line settle, air moving slow. Cooling vent humming beneath final shadow. Room quiet, steady ready. Night folding in a gentle patient calm.
Skillet warms above steady flame. Kitchen window holds pale sunrise. Curtain edges glow in amber light. Tiles reflect quiet domestic calm. Pantry shelf lined with labeled containers. Flow of dust rests along wooden ledge. Glass jars shimmer in angled beams. Soft footsteps cross narrow floor. Spice jar twists open with soft click. Cinnamon drifts into morning air. Measure pinches fall into waiting bowl. Breath steadies over rising steam. Oven light glows behind thick glass. Heat gathers within close chamber. Timer ticks with patient rhythm. Countertop cool beneath resting palms. Wooden spoon circles thick batter slowly. Metal bowl echoes gentle scrape. Shoulders lean toward familiar motion. Apron strings hang loosely tight. Iron skillet receives melting butter. Edges sizzle in quiet applause. Surface dark with seasoned memory. Steam lifts in pale ribbons. Pantry shelf door left half open. Spice jar returns beside salting. Morning air moves through narrow vent. Bird song filters beyond thin walls. Oven light flickers before steady glow. Wooden spoon rests across ceramic rim. Iron skillet crackles under mixture. Warm spreads through small apartment. Spice jar scent lingers softly. Pantry shelf shadows stretch longer. Sunlight widens across kitchen floor. Coffee drips into waiting mug. Wooden spoon taps against bowl ledge. Iron skillet holds golden surface. Oven light fades as door opens. Steam rushes toward ceiling. Pantry shelf now quiet and orderly. Spice jar sealed with careful twist. Table set with simple plates. Chair legs scrape gently outward. Iron skillet cools on stovetop grate. Oven light finally dims to dark. Wooden spoon rests in shallow sink. Morning settles into steady comfort.
shaking beneath slow. Careful push shadows spilling across worn wooden floor. Air drifting from half open window. Faint scent of evening settling inside. Lock turn, echoing softly through narrow hall keys. Twisting impatient, quiet rhythm. Wood grain catching pale lamplight. Metal edges cool beneath attentive fingers. Latch click, signaling quiet entry or exit. Rooms adjusting to gentle motion. Footsteps falling along polished surfaces. Time measured and careful, deliberate beats. Hallway rug stretched across uneven floorboards. Threads fraying at corners and edges. Patterns showing years of daily passage. Air carrying faint scent of fabric. Woven rug catching soft light in threads. Warm tones shifting with movement of sun. Hands brushing lightly across textured surface. Small details holding unnoticed history's door hinge. Whispering under gentle force lock turn. Smooth yet resonant. Latch click fading into distant corners. Hallway rug still beneath quiet steps. Woven rug patterns bending under weight. Edges curling softly in neglected corners. Fingers tracing intricate loops and knots. Time folding into soft domestic rhythm. Door hinge settling after repeated openings. Lock turn leaving faint metallic scent. Latch click echoing through empty passage. Air still holding lingering warmth. Hallway rug muted beneath steady steps. Shadows stretching long across polished wood. Small details of life pressed into fibers. Soft rhythm of domestic calm. Woven rug carrying weight of presence. Threads catching dust and sunlight. Evening deepening without interruption. Space folding around quiet footsteps. Door hinge aligned with fading light. Lock turn, quiet echo soft. Latch click replaced by stillness. Hallway rug stretching into shadow. Woven rug resting beneath warm glow. Evening air soft across wooden floor. Door hinge lock turn, latch click. Home settling into vested calm.
Mailbox rust standing under dim street lamp. Edges bent from years of wind and rain. Letters stacked with quiet patience. Postmark ink faded into soft gray. Driveway crack running like shallow river. Weeds bending from persistent sunlight. Footsteps echo softly across uneven pavement. Morning dew glinting under passing headlights. Faded paint flaking from wooden siding. Layers exposing history and suture. Hands brushing surface while walking past. Small stories hidden in chipped grains. Peeling paint curling under heat of afternoon. Shadows dancing across crumbling edges. Air smells faintly of damp wood. Time stretching without interruption. Cracked plaster lining interior walls. Small fractures catching soft window light. Dust settling into every hollow space. A room breathing in quiet solitude. Mailbox rust collecting forgotten coins. Letters slipping under his dented top. Small glints of sunlight refracting metal. Evening breeze stirring memories gently. Driveway crack widening across concrete span. Tiny rocks falling into unseen fissures. Shadow of fence stretching over cracked line. Footsteps pause for a slow inhale. Faded paint holding traces of old colors. Morning light revealing hidden patterns. Edges curling in delicate patience. History resting under quiet observation. Peeling paint falling on a soft mat. Tiny fragments crunch beneath shoes. Air filled with scent of old timber. Hands brushing against softened surfaces. Cracked plaster shadowed by window frames. Sunlight slicing thin diagonal stripes. Walls whispering years of silent stories. Soft echoes carried across empty rooms. Mailbox rust reflecting last beams of sun. Coins jingling with small careless motions. Letters ready for delivery but unclaimed. Evening turning the neighborhood quiet. Driveway crack fading in a dim street. Faded paint peeling paint resting still. Cracked plaster listening to fading day.
Night folding softly around empty homes.
Marble vein, tracing natural patterns along countertops. Sunlight catching each subtle indentation. Smooth surface reflecting afternoon glow. Air warm with distant kitchen smells. Stone slab resting beneath sturdy cabinets. Edges sharp against polished floor. Footsteps echo faint across tiled expanse. Dust settling in the corners quietly. Granite top holding cuts and boards and knives. Shadows forming under hanging lights. Warm tea steaming in ceramic cups. Soft music drifting from nearby speakers. Counter edge worn from countless meals. Fingers tracing smooth, cold surfaces. Notes left beside small appliances. Keys resting on polished wood. Cover shelf stacked with plates and mugs. Faded labels showing years of use. Sunlight casting shadows in straight lines. Small objects glinting in soft beams. Marble vein catching streaks of sunlight. Polished surface reflecting slow movements. Hands moving across gentle textures. Air circulating quiet in between walls. Stone slab cold beneath, morning coffee. Granite top holding folded newspapers. Counter edge brushed by passing arms. Silent hum of distant appliances. Cupboard shelf creaking under stacked dishes. Cabinet doors opening with gentle groans. Metal knobs glinting faintly in afternoon air soft, filled with warm stillness. Marble vein pattern stretching endlessly across surface. Shadow bending into soft geometry. Stone slab catching subtle reflections. Hands pausing to appreciate quiet detail. Granny top, cool against fingertips. Counter edge, lined with morning crumbs. Cupboard shelf holding remnants of breakfast. Light filtering through partially closed blinds. Marble vein, accentuating natural artistry. Stone slab, silent beneath lingering objects. Granite top waiting for next motion. Room breathing slow and unhurried. Counter edge finally empty of hands. Cupboard shelf, resting in muted quiet. Marble vein, dissolving in a soft shadow. Afternoon settling into deeper filled with calm. Da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da.
Pantry shelf lined with patient ingredients. Glass containers reflecting low ceiling light. Dust particles drifting in narrow beams. Wood grain worn from steady use. Sugar bowl resting beside ceramic mug. Granules catching pale yellow glow. Spoon balanced on delicate edge. Breath visible in cool apartment air. Iron skillet heating on steady flame. Butter dissolving across dark surface. Oil shimmering in subtle patterns. Walls absorbing the scent of warmth. Oven light glowing behind thick glass. Timer ticking with restraint, urgency. Shadows bending across tile backsplash. Floor cool beneath bare feet. Quiet bite breaking late night silence. Crunch echoing inside small kitchen space. Chair legs dragging across tile softly. City noise faint beyond window frame. Pantry shelf door left slightly open. Labels tilted from repeated handling. Floor of dust clinging to fingertips. A small draft moving hanging towels. Sugar bowl nearly empty tonight. Teaspoon tapping against porcelain rim. Steam rising from chips, ceramic cup, condensation, tracing curved surfaces. Iron skillet, holding steady heat. Edges dark, with seasoned memory. Spatula resting beside folded cloth. Stove flame, lower with care. Oven light, flickering before shutting. Heat escaping in the quiet air. Clock humming above, refrigerator motor. Window reflecting distance, street glow. Quiet bite followed by slow exhale. Shoulders finally dropping tension. A glass of water, catching light. Apartment settling deeper into stillness. Pantry shelf closing with gentle push. Sugar bowl return to its corner. Iron skillet cooling on metal grate. Soft footsteps cross a narrow hallway. Oven light gone, darkness comfortable. Quiet bite now, only memory. Night wrapping walls in soft blue. Breath steady in calm solitude.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, 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 yeah.
Spice rack lined with jars of every colors. Sunlight catching tiny floating dust motes. Cinnamon and nutmeg scent drifting lightly. Air warm from afternoon cooking. Bottle cap twisting slowly under careful hands. Faint metallic click echoing softly. Glass reflecting dim sunlight through nearby window. Subtle vibration felt across polished countertop. Cupboard shelf holding plates and faded bowls. Stacked in careful, uneven patterns. Shadows forming across sagewood surfaces. Quiet rhythm of domestic life unfolding. Draw a knob pressed to open hidden space. Small utensils rattling beneath gentle touch. Fingers brushing against cold metal. Air shifting softly inside organized chaos. Pantry door creaking with measured motion. Hinges groaning, faintly underweight. Dry ingredients resting in orderly jars. Light spilling across warm textured floor. Spice rack catching reflections of passing sun. Glass jars glinting with subtle pattern. Aroma drifting in the quiet corners. Room alive with soft invisible energy. Bottle cap lifted with practiced precision. Corkscrew twisting metal pressing lightly. Soft clink of glass in the jar. Hands moving with meditative flow. Cupboard shelf creaking under daily weight. Plates shifting slightly barely audible. Sunlight bending along uneven edges. Air carrying scent, a faint spice. Draw a knob turning under careful fingers. Small items shifting within wooden confines. Quiet motions layered with domestic rhythm. Time measured in small, careful gestures. Yeah, 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 careful gestures. Measured in small, careful gestures. Pantry door resting against frame, slightly ajar. Shadow stretching across stone floor. Air moving softly from slight draft. Sunlight glinting on forgotten labels. Yeah. Spice rack holding centuries of fragrant memory. Colors deepened by faint linger aroma. Jar settled into patient alignment. Room exhaling gentle, the flight you're calm. Bottle cap return to rest in place. Drawer knob pressed back in a quiet stillness. Cupboard shelf silent awaiting next motion. Pantry door closing softly with evening calm. Yeah. Yeah. Storages rack towering beneath fluorescent glare. Dust settling across forgotten inventory. Concrete floors holding steady chill. Air thick with quiet labor. Steel shelf lined with box patience. Edges sharp beneath pale lighting. Labels curling from dry adhesive. Shadows pooling underneath heavyweight. Cargo crate resting against painted markers. Wood grain scarred by distant travel. Corner brackets bent from rough handling. Faint scent of oil and rope. Barcode scan slicing through dim aisle. Red beam steady against cardboard skin. Numbers aligning in silent sequence. Screen glowing against tired eyes. Breaking layers, stillness. Echo bouncing toward high rafters. Gloved hands adjusting small details. Clipboard shifting on plastic bins. Storage rack humming with contained gravity. Boxes stacked in careful geometry. Forklift tracks marking concrete paths. Ceiling fans turning without urgency. Steel shelf supporting uneven loads. Tape seams stretched under pressure. Inventory lists folded in pockets. Boot steps tracing repetitive routes. Cargo crate lifted with measured control. Straps tightened in practice rhythm. Breath visible in early shift air. Sweat cooling beneath warehouse draft. Barcode scan repeated without hesitation. Digits flashing across handheld display. Paper edges smoothed by rough palms. Ink slightly smeared by friction. Scanner beep sharper in empty corridor. Sound traveling beyond visible space. Lights flickering above narrow aisle. Time stretching in boxed intervals. Steel jump reflecting the door, silver tones. Cargo crate secured for departure. Inventory balanced without applause. And barcode scan, final for the shift. Scanner beat fading into memory. Warehouse settling into low hum. Silence reclaiming stacked geometry. Geometry.
Food truck idles beneath buzzing street lamp. Metal panels shimmer under sodium glow. City asphalt radiates leftover daytime heat. Foot traffic slows near painted curve. Handwritten menu tape beside service window. Ink slightly smeared from humid air. Prices lean uneven across cardboard surface. Wind presses paper against steel frame. Counter bell rests beside plastic jar. Coins glint under dim portable light. Fingers hover before gentle tap. Sound rings sharp across sidewalk. Late special listed in crooked letters. Small crowd gathers in patient silence. Engines pass without breaking rhythm. Distant music drifts from open cars. Grill smoke lifts into violet skyline. Oil crackles across heated metal plate. Spatula scrapes in steady motion. Paper trays stacked near folded foil. Food truck vibrates with generator hum. Handwritten menu flutters against taped edge. Counter bell echoes between brick walls. Late special draws curious glances. Grill smoke blends with evening air. Voices trade short orders politely. Cash exchanges without heavy conversation. Receipt tears clean from small printer. Food truck lights reflect in puddles. Handwritten menu now slightly curling. Counter bell rings with renewed urgency. Late special nearly fully sold. Grill smoke thins as heat lowers. Shoes shuffle over painted crosswalk lines. Wind carries scent toward dark alley. Neon across street flickers briefly. Food truck, window slides halfway closed. Handwritten menu loosens from tape. Counterbell silent beside empty tray. Late special chalk smudged by thumb. Grill smoke fades into cooling metal. Street quiets under midnight patience. Coins counter beneath. Portable lantern engines hum farther down avenue. Food truck shuts beneath soft darkness. Handwritten menu folded into glove box. Counterbell tucked beside loose change. Late special becomes tomorrow's memory.
Ceiling fans spinning slowly above them like blades, cutting shadows across faded walls. Air moving softly in gentle circles, room alive with quiet mechanical pulse. Fan hum vibrating low against tired ceiling, echo blending with distant city noise. Books stacked on wooden shelves, pages shifting slightly in air movement. Air vent channeling cool, whispering current, metal edges cold beneath fingertips. Soft draft weaving between floorboards, sunlight slanting through blinds and lines. Vent cover catching dust, the long edges, corners collecting tiny particles. Fingers tracing faded patterns in metal, air flowing quietly without notice. Ceiling fan slowing its restless rotation, shadows stretching along uneven plaster. Temperature shifting subtly with motion, evening wrapping room in soft comfort. Fan hum steady like heartbeat in dark, eyes tracing patterns on ceiling paint. Their current stirring forgotten papers, time measured in slow deliberate moments. Heavy whispering against muted tiles, draft weaving through corner shelves. Faint center room, carpet rising room, holding quiet reflection in its walls. Van cover scratched by careless fenders, blades above slicing gentle evening light. Shadow patterns flowing in rhythm, room absorbing low mechanical vibrations. Ceiling fan oscillating with subtle insistence, air current rushing across bare arms, humming, filling spaces between thoughts. Fingers tapping along wooden edges. Fan hum fading into distant traffic, evening deepening behind closed blinds. Air vent channeling softened breeze, walls breathing quietly beneath low light. Van cover glinting with subtle reflection, metal edges catching stray light. Air current circulating slow and warm, shadows shifting softly across corners. Ceiling fan finally resting near stillness. Fan hum settling into background calm. Air vent silent beneath stillness, room exhaling quiet comfort into night.